What does the power of God look like when it really gets rolling? Today, we're going to continue a study of Joshua, the introduction to Joshua 10, and we're going to see how the power of God oftentimes is cumulative. Sarah Slay with the UWM Pen Guy, and this is the Bible commentary. As always, if you like what you're seeing, I'd ask that you hit like and subscribe in order to help the channel grow. Now, without further ado, let's get into the Word. So for today, we're going to continue looking at Joshua 10, verses 1 and 2. I'm not planning on going back to doing 20 videos on this intro. I'm just trying to break it into nice, easy, sort of short video format. Anyways, so I'll read the verses again. As soon as Adoni-Zedek, king of Jerusalem, heard how Joshua had captured Ai and its king, and he had done to Jericho and its king, and how the inhabitants of Gibeon had made peace with Israel and were among them, he feared greatly, because Gibeon was a great city like one of the royal cities, and because it was greater than Ai, and all its men were warriors. So we're going to mainly focus on verse 1 today. And so the defeat of two cities and the submission of a third demonstrated to these Gibeonites, or to the, I'm sorry, to the rest of the Canaanites, the submission of Gibeon, that the Israelites meant business, that they were very serious about conquering the land. They weren't just a fly by night sort of presence. They were here to stay. And so I think that's part of what drives their desperation. Part of it is driven, as it suggests in verse 2, by the fact that the previous victories of the Israelites were won against mighty cities, high walls, as we saw in chapter 6, and cities that no doubt were famous or infamous, as the case may be, in this warrior culture for their ability to fight and win battles. We always have to remember that the Canaanite culture was a warrior culture. Most ancient cultures were. War was just endemic in the ancient world, as it is in a way today, but it was truly part of the fabric of existence for most ancient societies in a way that's difficult for us to comprehend, especially in the modern West. And so when you became known as a city which was a great city, or a people or a nation like Israel was gaining a reputation for, that were a great people, then that reputation would spread, as we saw in chapter 2. And by that means, the mighty name of God, the rolling providence of God's power would sweep across the land, and in a way would bring, as we saw with Jericho, would bring the victory almost unto itself. That the people sealed themselves in, you might recall. And if you don't, you can go back and watch the videos on this. You might recall, sealed themselves into their own doom in Jericho. This is the power of God. It is for the Christian believer the when it says that all things work together for the good for those who love God and are called according to his purpose, one of the most famous Bible verses. And when it says that in Revelation 1, when Jesus says, I am the Alpha and the Omega, but then he adds to John, because that should be terrifying. The vision in Revelation chapter 1 is extraordinarily terrifying to anyone in a sinful condition, because it's the perfect holiness of God. John falls over, and the glory, the holiness, John falls over like a dead man. But Jesus says, be not afraid, for I am the Alpha and the Omega. If God is for us, then who can be against us? That's what we see here in Joshua 1 or 10 as well, is the sort of rolling power of God's providence. That is what is for the Christian believer. And if you are not a Christian believer yet, the sad, sad reality is that that power is at some basic level against you, and you are going to face the ultimate level of that power in hell unless, as it says in the book of Romans, the goodness of God drives you to repentance. So until next time, this has been Bible Commentary. This is Eric Slay with UWM Penguin.